Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back. As always, huge massive thank you for the support. I really do appreciate it. So I am coming back with the third topper set in this Garden Treasures collection. This is beautiful. It's called The Little Things. It's got this super cute little badger on there with your garden scene in the background. You've got this sort of sparrow or house martin type bird there. You've got your little ducks, and then you've got your bird house with your mouse and your bird there. We've got 4 sentiments on this one. Enjoy the little things, have a wonderful day, congratulations, and many happy returns. I really do love a many happy returns because I think it's just a little bit different to a happy birthday. Then we've got the foiled one, which I've chosen the badger, which is for the feature foiling. You've got the beautiful fence in the background, using a little bit of foil on his nose, so cute. And then the printed one, we've got the border either side with our butterflies on. I think that's upside down because the butterflies are flying downwards. It's a bad sign. And then because I got the bundle, I've got the insert and paper pack. So the insert matches with that sky scene with that border with the butterflies, and then the printed cardstock, you've got that double-sided there. Now I have sort of picked these to kind of go with this, and I think that's how they are supposed to go, but the whole kit coordinates together, so there's no reason why you couldn't take any of the previous papers that I've shown you and mix it in with this one. I have done with some of the later cards that I was doing yesterday, so it's all good. It all matches together. It's all beautifully thought out as always with Hunkydory. So the first card I thought I would do a little 5x7 because that badger topper is huge. It is I think it's about a 4.5 by 6, so it is a huge one. And I'm going to do a step. So I did have this little offcut. I think it's going to be about 3.5. That's 3.25, so that's fine. By 5. So that should be fine. So let's get the card made up, and then it's easier to see where we are going with our layers. So I'm going to score this piece at 1.5 on the short edge and at 3. So I've got that really thin border there. It's just because I was using this scrap up. Sometimes it's easier to go with a 3.5, but just going to give that a good burnish down. And then I'll have to use my super skinny red liner tape. I'm just going to grab a piece of this to attach this piece to my card. So the red liner tape is the strongest tape currently in the crafting world, I believe. Has been for a very long time. Very reliable, great, strong, sticky adhesion. So I'm going to take that off. I'm going to add a little bit of Canal Tacky Glue onto these corners, just so we don't get any bits popping up. And the way I like to join these together is make sure I've got my card the right way up, and then I'm going to butt that up to the bottom of my card, and then just flip that over. Just got a little bit of glue come out there, and then what you should find is that you've got a nice neat edge and a card that is now that shaped. Okay, it's just for something a little bit different. And sometimes just having that little edge on there is just something, you know, just sets one card apart from the other really. So I'm going to bring in some gold mirror card, and I'm going to have to use an A4 sheet, and I'm going to cut this at 2 notches under the 5, and I'm going to take a little bit off this edge just because it's a bit bashed in the corner, and then I can just turn that around and go 2 notches under the 7. That's going to be too short, so I've got another little cut here. What's that? So we just need to cut that to 2 notches under 1.5. and 2 notches under the 5. And we've got a piece for our front there, oops, and a piece, making a bit of a deal of this, but that will go onto there, that one will go onto there. So what I decided to do, because that topper is going to take up a huge amount of space on that card, pretty much all of it, I'm not going to use my cardstock for that. I'm going to use some of the printed paper. This side was a little bit too busy, but this side was perfect. So we're going to cut this to 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. And that one will go on there. And then for the front bit, I am going to use a bit of the card, because the sentiment I want to use is the longer one, and it's got quite a lot of purple on. So I'm going to take this piece, and first of all I'm going to cut it to 5 3/4. Put that to the side, and then I'm going to take 1 1/4 from this edge. And then I'm going to cut that to 4 3/4. So that means that now I still have a piece that is 5 3/4, so it's a decent sized piece. In fact, it will pretty much mat onto a 6 by 6 now, won't it? So that's just my way of saving that bit of cardstock. If I'd have cut it at 5, then I would have had to use it at 5 inches. So that's why I cut it at 5 3/4 first of all. Okay, so let's do some assembling. So the glues I'm going to be using are the Clout All Purpose Glue, which is an alcohol based glue, the Clout Tacky Glue, which is a water based glue, and for the paper I'm going to be using the Permanent Dots tape pen, which is a dry glue. It also is quite forgiving, that Permanent Dots pen. It is really designed for die cuts, because it only puts glue where there's paper, but I find it is the most forgiving out of the tape pens. The solid tape pen, it's got a great grab, let's put it that way, and once it grabs it doesn't want to let go, whereas the dot one will give you a bit of a second chance at it, which is, you know, if you're beginning, it's a great thing to just have that sort of confidence that you're going to be able to sort of try again. Okay, let's just pop this one on. That means we can still float it into place, and then when we're ready, just press down on those glue dots, and they're going to hold that while that glues. Okay, so apologies there, somebody came to the door, but let's carry on now. So let's just get these. Oops. Yeah. So it was my Hunkydory magazine, so I don't know if you watch Hunkydory TV today, or you may even have caught it on Hobby Maker later today. But there is a new spring feelings new kit in the magazine, and it's made me very happy because it's a matastic one, and it is gorgeous as well. So that will be coming up straight after this kit. So there's one more topper set on this one, and then I might just hop straight into that magazine, and then I may come back to the elements kit. I have been using them, like I said, I have been using those elements, but I might do a video on it after I've done with the magazine. Right, let's grab this huge beautiful badger topper. Come on now, there we go. And I want the badger sentiment. It just says have a wonderful day, but it's got a little badger on it, so got this little badger in the corner there. Yeah, you can see that perfectly. So we will add that onto this card. So I'm thinking that's going to go on there. It's going to be framed quite nicely by all of that white or cream. Just trim that pip. Then let's see how we want this to go. I'm thinking missing out the middle one like I usually do. You can see how big that is. And I do want it quite near to the top because I want as much as possible to be seen over that step. So let's just pop that one out. So that's going to go, and you can see that purple is, it's not too much, it's not too dark, but that's where we are going. Now hopefully I should have enough of these. I did cut some of these yesterday when I was working on the kit. So what I decided to do, like I did before one time, is make up all of the toppers in this kit. So completely craft this kit out. So you'll see the videos where I make 2 cards for each of the sheets. But then on my Pinterest you will see all of the other cards, and although with the videos I tend to sort of stick to the actual kit and the elements more, when I craft the kit out I do mix and match pieces left over and things. So if you want to see some more ideas, then my Pinterest is the place to go. I really think I need to link that in my description on these videos. I don't think it is at the moment. I must put that on my to-do list. So I can just see there's just a little bit of paper where that pip wasn't quite cut through. Okay, so we'll move our little badger out of the way. We'll take these backs off. I'm going to use, actually I might use the purple glue to cover these pads. So I mean, these pads, these foam pads are wonderful. You could just pop this down, but I like to have at least one way that I can pick that up and move it around if I've not quite got it right. You know, sometimes you'll go just a little bit too left, sometimes you'll go a bit too right, sometimes you'll be on the wonk, and if you notice it before you've sort of finished your card, by putting either some tacky glue on these foam pads or using the Hunkydory purple glue stick, and you just coat those foam pads with the glue. And what that means is that the powerful stick with these pads is not actioned straight away. So that means that if, like I said before, if I'm on the wonk or if I'm not quite straight, I've got an opportunity just to whip that back up and have another shot at it. So like I said, I did want it to be quite near the top. So I'm just looking at the bottom here and these two sides just to make sure they're even. And I think that's pretty good. A little bit over to the right, but not so much that it is painful to my eyes. And then this one, I'm going to go a little higher with my foam pads. Just getting those pips off. And I'm going to go with the 2mm ones. So these foam pads I got from a Fix-It. There is no right or wrong with foam pads. I think Hunkydory do have a great selection of different sizes and different heights of the pad. So not only the actual size of the pad, so these ones are 1 by 1, which is pretty small. I think those other ones are 2.5. But Hunkydory do the strips and everything, and circles, you know, for strips are great for when you want to put them on the edge of a frame, and also if you want to do a shaker card where you put something inside that sort of shakes. Do the same again on these. Oops, take the back off first, then that would be helpful. Yeah, so I mean, you can get, if you're starting out, you can get foam pads from places like the Pound Shop, Amazon, and they will do the job, I'm not going to lie, but sometimes you will find that they are quite sticky in that. Actually, let me just put that back in so we can guide ourselves in. They will stick to your hands as well as the you know, your paper and everything, so it can be quite frustrating, but they will do the job. Where's my knife gone? I just want to slip that under and grab that out. So I just use that middle frame just to help me position that in the best position that I can. And then we just have to ease that out. And there are loads of things you can do with these frames. A lot of the times I do end up gifting loads to sort of scouts, brownies, that sort of thing. You know, because I have no use for them. I've got so many. But you can, you know, you can put the papers behind them, and then you've got those elements to bring in the topper. You know, you can just have it as a separate sort of element at the side, decorative. You know, loads of things you can do with those. But I'm not using it today. So let's just pop some more 2mm foam pads on here. If you're a little bit worried about getting it in an envelope, if your envelope is quite snug, then you know, you can always just go 1mm or even flat if you want. You know, it's all decisions that you can make based upon what you're going to be using the card for, how you're sending it, etc. I've got some slightly oversized envelopes, so I'm quite lucky that way that I can just go pretty much as high as I like. I'm just going to pop that one in there like so, and then we just need some gems. I'm thinking maybe some, I've got some purple ones from this companion there. I think actually what I'm going to do is go with some gold, because I think we've got that dark purple there, and if I go with the gold, that's going to bring it up. So I'm going to pop one big one in this corner. No, I'm not, because it's not going to come out. Let me just grab a pin. Sometimes it just dries up a little bit, I think because I wandered off and didn't put a lid on it. It's got a little bit of dried in there, so I'm going to put one on that side, and we'll go with quite, no, not that big, we'll go the next size down. And then I'm going to go with 2 on this side, so I'm still going to go with my 3. I don't think I want that one on the next 2 sizes down, so that one and that one. And these little tubs, this one I've got from AliExpress, but you can get them from Temu, and I think Dreamies do pots of different size gems like this on Hobby Maker. Okay, but that is going to be our card number 1. Just needs a little insert in there. Just love the way that clean bit of border there just brings that image forward. Hard for me to show you because that's not gonna going forward, but you'll see it on the photos if you see it on Facebook or Pinterest. And I'm just going to get set up for card number 2. Okay, so for my second card, I thought I would do like a little cut in Z fold card. So I've got another piece of 6x12 cardstock, and I'm going to pop this in at the 2-inch mark there, and then from 3 inches, I'll put the blade at the 3 inches, so I've got a little notch which points to where the blade is, and from 3 inches I'm going to cut right through to 9 inches. So you can see 3 to 9. Okay, and then I'm going to bring in my scoreboard, and at 3 inches I'm going to score it down to the cut line. At 6 inches I'm going to go all the way down, that's the halfway point of my card, and then I'm going to turn that around because I've got the smaller board, and again at 3 inches I'm just going down to that cut line. And this is going to create my card, so we're just going to ease those folds in. This one's going to come forward as a mountain, this one's going to go back as a valley, and then gradually we should be able to fold the card down. And then the most important thing is to come in and burnish those creases. And this one, I knew there was one more, I hadn't done. There we go. So now we've got a card that opens like this. Okay. And the downside on this card is that you will need, if you're matting and layering in gold, you will need two mirror mats. So let's start with the first one. So I'm going to cut it to 2 notches under the 6, because that's still going to be the length of my card. And then I'm going to turn that around, and I'm going to take that 2 notches under the 3, and one of those is going to go on that side there, and then again 2 notches under the 3, and that one's going to go on that front side there. Let's just open that up. So let's grab another one. Fresh packet. And again I'm going to take 2 notches off the 6, am I? No, I'm not even gonna. Okay, so I'm going to take it to 2 notches under the 3. And then this one here is 2 inches. So I'm going to take 2 notches under the 2. So that's a mat for 2 by 3 inches. And then this one is, I'm not showing you very well, sorry. So this one is going on this piece here. So this is 2 by 3. This piece here is 4 by 3. So I'm going to go 2 notches under the 4. And obviously because we've got those 2 pieces there, I'm going to do exactly the same again. So 2 notches under the 3. 2 notches under the 2 for that smaller piece, and it is easier to cut the smaller pieces first of all, and then 2 notches under the 4. Okay, so those are the pieces for there. And then I think what I'll do is use some of this cardstock that we cut. So I'm going to cut it to 2 3/4, and I don't know if I want to cut. I'm going to cut the torn edge off and just have the decorative piece. And then I'm going to do the same again on this one. So 2 3/4 by 5 3/4. So now we've got a piece for that front and that back. And then we need a piece for here. Now I'm thinking I'm going to use some of these papers again. So I'm going to cut it to 2 3/4. And then I need 2 pieces that are going to be 1 3/4. So we've got a nice little butterfly in there. And a nice little butterfly in there. And then for these pieces here, what I like to do is use the insert. So I'm going to start off by cutting this at 5 3/4 just to make it an easier piece to handle. And then I'm going to turn that around and do that at 5 3/4, just so I've got a decent little piece there left over. So we're going to go to 2 3/4 by 3 3/4, and that will fit onto there. And then again 2 3/4 by 3 3/4, and that will go into there. This just means that not only is that paper decorative, so we can use it as a decorative part of our card, it actually it still becomes a writable card. So rather than somebody having to turn this over and write on the back, they can actually, sorry, I'm just going to move my template out of the way, they can actually still use it as a normal card and not try and figure out where they're supposed to write. Okay, let's just pop that back up there. Okay, so now we just need to pop this all together. And these pieces, you know, although I've used the sort of plainer side, the pattern sort of, it's not plain, it's patterned, but I've used that sort of plainer pattern side. You could always go in with an embossing folder that you like. Particularly the Hunkydory Dots one is a fantastic one because it's the dots go with pretty much everything, and it adds a little bit of something without it being too much. The other one, although I haven't got it yet, but will be my next buy, is going to be the stripes. When it comes back into stock, the script. So those are useful sort of embossing folders that you can use any time of year. So you can use dots for Christmas as well. Same with the script, you can use that at Christmas. And the stripes, of course, because, you know, sort of candy canes and things are stripes. But I'm just going to pop all of these pieces in, layer them up, and you can pretty much see how I'm popping them in. Of course, where I'm using the paper, just using the dotty pen. I haven't decided yet which topper I want to use on here, so still a little bit of planning to do on this card, but it will all come together fairly quickly. So when you're using the insert paper, just give it a really good paper, press down, because there's nothing worse than trying to write on something that is a little bit bumpy. So it's just a little bit over to the left. So like I say, with those dots, you can just pop them up and they will stick back down, although that one is not. Let's put a tiny micro dot there. Okay, and then again with this one, just working my way around the card. So there is Another sneak peek to come on, I think it's going to be Wednesday. This is the one that is just take you through sort of some of the kit and the samples that I've made, the full samples that I've made. It's the first time I've done that. Let's turn the butterfly around. So that will be on, yeah, I think it's either Wednesday or Thursday. But yeah, some really lovely cards in that. Hopefully you'll like them. And the things that are coming there are also, I mean, the Puntastic is really cool and fun. And, you know, for anyone, that's the fantastic thing about the Puntastic collection, is that you could literally give that to mum, nan, brother, neighbour. You know, it could be absolutely anybody, somebody from work, you know. I'm not allowed to tell you too much before I do the sneak peek of what's coming, but I think you're gonna love it. I did. I really enjoyed. Well, I've enjoyed working on everything they've given me, to be fair, but there was a lot in this next one that I really did love, and one of the things I'm going to have to buy again because I used a lot of it. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, so and there's some other little bits that have been launched that didn't come in my sample pack, but I know I'm going to need, so it's on my little shopping list for this week. But I think it's going to be a busy week because obviously it's Hobby Maker's birthday, and I think Hunkydory are being sort of pretty much one of the main sort of guys involved in that, should I say. So can't believe they're having another birthday already. It sort of flies by, doesn't it? Well, we're already in March. Do you know what I mean? This year's, we're already quarter of the way through. How has that happened? It's mad. Madness, I tell you. So I've got a bit of a sniffy nose now I've sneezed. I just want to get this card finished before I stop again. Just keeping an eye on the camera. It is behaving today, so far, touch wood anyway. Okay, so those are all of our little layers. When we put the card together, that's how it's going to look. So perfectly coordinated in the purple, and then you open it up and you've got that insert. It sits like so on a shelf. So if I hold it, it will sit like so. So you're going to see some of this, not so much of the insert, which is great, which is why it's perfect for still writing on. Let's bring in our toppers. Now I'm thinking, I don't think I want to go with a square. I'm wondering whether to go with this one, you know. Let's see what that one would look like, our little birdhouse. Because I could have that coming over. And then we've got this super pretty Mini Happy Returns with the little bird on it as well. And we can have this over here. And if I grab one of the element sheets, I know I still have some more of those little birds. Let me just grab those. You can see how much I've been using them, and sometimes I pop things out and don't use them, so I really need to put these in a folder before I lose bits. Alright, birdies, where are you? Oh, that's a nice piece of foxy. Another one, must be normal. Oh, isn't it birdies? I'm sure I had another two. Oh ahead. Look, I've gone past to numpty. Here they are, look. So we've got one bird, got two birds, and then what we could do is pick something for them to be sat on. I think a rock. Could go with a pot. Let's just double check what else we've got. Those are animals, those are animals. Let's go with a pile of pots. And no, I won't take the fork because that's huge. Let's pop that over there. Okay, let's build this up. So we're going to have our many happy returns. Actually, I might go there, and then we could have our little birds coming in along there. Yes. And then we'll have that one. We'll put that like in the middle there. And I think that will be great. And this one has got different shape to it, so what I'm going to do is grab my 2mm foam pads and my scissors and just cut up the middle, and we'll pop some of these on. So just want a nice amount of support. And what I'm going to do is put the topper flat on the card, so this way it looks like there's quite a height differential between the two. So actually I was going to have that coming over a bit, wasn't I? So let's not put those on. I might have to just... So I'm just going to, because I've put that in the wrong place, I can take my little glue eraser, and sometimes it takes it all away straight away. If not, you can always pop a little bit of all-purpose glue and use that to destroy the glue. I'm just going to pop there, and I need to get rid of that one as well. I did see a tip in the magazine when I was quickly flicking through it while my sister was doing her washing and getting that out, about if you put a foam pad in the wrong place, if you heat it up. It might be Jane that said, I don't know if that's right, I might have. But yes, if you heat them with a heat tool, it should lift them straight back up. So I'm guessing it warms the glue, but I haven't tried it, so that's going to be something to try in the future. Let's just use my tacky glue on here just for speed. And we're just going to pop that coming over. And I can see that foam pad a little bit, but if I poke it under with my knife, I'm just using that with a blunt end on my knife, and it will stick itself down. Got another little one there. I've been very messy with these today. Apologies. There we go. And then for this one, I'm just going to pop a little bit of all-purpose glue on half of that. And then we're just going to poke that back down and in. And because we've used that glue, we can just swizzle that around till we're happy with where that goes. So let's come back in with some of these 2mm ones. Really bring this off the page. Now for the back where the decoupage is, I don't really want to go too high because I don't want it to affect how the card actually closes. That's pretty much straight. Let's have a look. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Could have done with being a little straighter, but there we go. So this one, what I'm going to do is just give them a little bit of a round with my hands, and then I'm going to bring in some 1mm pads. Those on. And again, a bit of tacky glue. And we'll pop that to that side. And we could have one sort of, yeah, I'm going to have one sort of behind, although it is going to be the same height, but I will do it so that his legs are pretty much behind. I'm going to use my tweezers to help me get this into place. Oops. Okay, so I'm just going to pop him behind, and then this one will have more to the front just by putting it over the top of these pots. Like so. Now there is space here for a mum, nan, dad, friend, that kind of greeting, so there is space for that there. I think again I'm going to come in with gold gems. If I can get into them. And I think what I'm going to do, if I turn this around, I'm going to go with 3 on here. Go with that sort of size. And then on this side, let's go with 4 of these. So I'm going to go with 2 this way. And these are very small ones because I don't want the height. And then I'm going to go 2 this way. Just draw your eye around the card. Now that glue will dry clear. If you do get it particularly messy, you can use just the corner of a bit of tissue to take away any excess, or you can use like a teeny tiny dauber. This is not a Hunkydory one, but this one, that one was a Carnation Crafts one that we got gifted at a show, I think. But that is the second card, the cut-in Z fold. Okay, so we'll pop that one there. Yep, that's going to stay nicely. And bring in card number 1. So card number 1 does need an insert in, so I will sort that in just a second. But those are the 2 cards for today from that topper set, which was called, let's see, it's called The Little Things. So I've still got 2 more cards to come out of that at least. I've still got that foiled cardstock to play with, and the papers, of course, so that's going to go, we're going to have a good time sort of crafting with that. We're going to probably get at least 2 2-3 cards out of that with the cardstock and the papers. But that's it for today. So thank you so much for watching. Keep an eye out for those sneak peeks. They're always fun to see what's coming up. If you're like me, you like to know what's coming up. But until next time, happy crafting. Bye.